All right. It seems we've been having a bit of issues with connecting. I hope Joseph will be able to get back with us and we see how best we can try and conclude this. Unfortunately, the internet issues continue to bite in this our country. Uh, we have been always promised great internet and fast speeds, but yes, Joseph is back. I see seems to be back. And yeah, Edgar, I completely agree. Internet won't allow us to prosper, but we'll manage. Sorry, Joseph. Internet in Uganda continues to be a lie, really.
Sorry about your internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as we're coming to the conclusion of this, yes, Edgar shared the first one on the IGTV. It's there; you'll be able to access it. But as we come to the conclusion of this show, Joseph, two things. One, COVID-19 is definitely going to change the way sports is in Uganda. And unlike other countries where they already have TV deals, they already have, all these mega deals that allow for fans to even sit at home and watch their games. We don't have that luxury in Uganda. What do you think will be the way forward for Uganda in terms of sports?
We can't talk about losing pay TV when we have no pay TV.
Yes,
there's like we've not lost anything apart from not being able to play when it comes to things like the hit that the Premier League, for example, has taken in terms of having to return money to broadcasters and all that kind of stuff. We don't have that problem. So in essence, it's some kind of equalizer. But going forward, yes, COVID has affected us, but it has also shown us opportunities that do exist. One of the things that I've always believed is that, let me go back to the story about us going to Barcelona. I think this
Barcelona.
is 2015 thereabouts. So we go to Barcelona and they're really top notch. Everything is top notch. I've been to the Facebook office, I've been to the Google office, and here I was at the Barcelona and I was seeing no difference. Okay, no difference at all in terms of structures in place, in terms of the way they take themselves. And like, okay, so in my mind, I'm like, all right, when Audi goes to Barcelona, they have that confidence to give them 10 million euros. Why? Because they are serious. Then in my head, I said, okay, we do not need to be Barcelona. We do not need to be at the level of Barcelona, have a massive complex, have the kids alone, these underage teams, they had like 10 fields, just 10 the underage kids, like 10 fields, all of them marked and, split in different ways with nets covering it and all that kind of stuff. They had their own TV station in place there. They had things going on. Some organization that you see happening. So in my head, I was like, if Ugandan sports organizations do just 10%, in fact, 10% is a stretch, 5% of what these guys do, then we would have moved like really, really far away. Okay. So what does 10% of or 5% of what Barcelona does mean? Okay, it means that yes, Barcelona might have a fully fledged media team in place, but you have a smartphone. Someone at the organization has a smartphone. Take the damn photo, take a short video, give us behind the scenes content, give us stuff that will make us keep coming. Okay, that's one. Then two, we need to move away from the idea that having a brand, having, you know, there are things people look at and they're like, this doesn't, you know, feature high in our priority area, and that is a big problem for our organizations. You know, the example I told you, you've gone to Sudan, you've managed to raise the money to send a team of 25 people, 30 people, and in there you have not even one single person who will come and give us the evidence of how you performed over there. You know, someone who will build that kind of brand presence for you. It's not there. It means you have an issue if you don't have those priorities set. So I think just us coming to do within our means what we can do is really important, to build that you know, that brand, so that you can have more merchandise sold. Look, Manchester United or Barcelona will sell hoodies at X amount of volume. Why not just sell a t-shirt? Okay, sell something that is close to your audience, then, you know. But again, you won't have people to sell to if you're not able to reach people. You do not give them a reason to, you know, to buy something. There is no photo of your star player rocking that hoodie. Why should I? Why should I be the one to do it if you're not doing it? So I really feel that Ugandan organizations need to start looking at their priorities, there are so many opportunities for them to learn. Really at this day and age, you cannot be at a point where you have volunteers handling your media. That is really wrong. This business of saying, come and we try, you know, that business needs to stop. They need to treat it the way they would treat a coach. You will not go and pick someone from the street and say, come and try and coach our team. No. You will get someone who is, you know, who has shown his abilities, or, you know, to show that this is a person who knows their stuff. You know, they just pick anyone to come and become your coach. So why do you do it to have and say this so and so, you know, will be able to you come and we give you a position here in our media team? No, hire experts. And even experts are at their own levels. Obviously, if you came to me and you try to hire me, I'll, you know, charge you a high fee. But there are people who, you know, aspects that need to be looked at. And the thing that I want to mention, really, especially with our athletes, our sports stars, they do not want to invest in their brand. A quarter musician, your average musician, why should they be doing better than an elite athlete? Why should they have more name recognition, more, you know, value coming out of digital space, when your average musician has so many people dealing with their stuff? Your average musician, as a matter of fact, has an entourage. This guy is taking my photo. This guy is doing what? He's pitching stories and all that kind of stuff. Your average athlete doesn't care, you know, to be friendly to the media, or to have some nice photos or videos, or to cultivate, you know, some friendship with the press and all that kind of stuff. And that's a big problem. And that is something that sports should be able to learn from the entertainment industry. That you'll find, you know, the level at which Chameleon is. He has people who are busy pitching stories, people who will go, and if there is bad news, they will go and fix it. You get, there's a huge battle. You don't go and touch Bebe Cool's brand and then you don't get a response. Someone will fix it. Now, our guys in the sports industry, let's say a national team player, whether it's rugby, let's look at football, which is the most recognizable sport in Uganda. Your average football team, national team player will walk on the street and no one will do it. No one will recognize it. No one will turn around. But your average guy with one hit like this, even some that's not the hit, they're like, hey, who is that guy? You know, hey, you know. So that is a problem for us. It is because these guys, they invest. Do you know how many calls I get from musicians? I need my page verified. I need ABCD. I need to get more followers. What should I do? But it's because they have people who are actually doing that. So again, going back to the point where I said, don't, even if we are doing 10% of what Barcelona are doing, let our football stars, our sports stars do 10%, and then move to 20% of what Ugandan musicians are doing. Do you have someone who's advising you in terms of, you know, your media, who is advising you on how to appear, who is telling you, giving you feedback, what the fans are saying? If you cannot sing, but you're better at like, you know, live performance, the musicians get that kind of feedback, you know, and they know they play on their strengths. So if your average footballer doesn't have anyone, you know, they have basis. And then people will say, okay, what should I do? I'm an upcoming sports star. What can I do within my means? Okay. Do you have a phone?
Yeah.
Build content that is behind the scenes kind of content that is not available on Kao Sports, content that's not available on your average TV station. Do you have that selfie in the dressing room? Where is it? After the match, do you have 10-20 seconds of video celebrating you as after a win that has been built by yourself? You know, behind the scenes content that we are looking for but is not available. Do you have that? Has it gone to your Facebook page? Has it gone to your Instagram? Has it gone to your Twitter? And don't say you haven't had a social media manager. No, do that stuff yourself. Okay, that is at your level. If you have reached you know, you are in a big league club, you probably can't afford to do that, but you have your feature phone. Do it. Okay. Now you will tell me, okay, I have no iPhone. Fine. Did you see a photographer at the match? You saw. Did you ask them for a photograph of yourself so that you post on your Facebook or anything like that? You get. So all those are things at your own level. You get. If you reach a point when you are Emmanuel Oki or Farouk Mia and you can afford to pay someone to follow you around, then well and good. Do that. But whatever means you are, whatever level you are, you need to start showing that you have some interest in building your brand. And also at the moment, like, please, when you're doing these things, know your priorities. Don't go and straight away you're starting to make customized masks when you've not even done anything to do with your streamlining your Facebook page or anything like that, but immediately you're doing t-shirts. What's the point of doing t-shirts with your face in it when you have no brand behind it? You get. No one has seen videos of you mesmerizing players and then you expect them to buy a t-shirt of your face on the t-shirt, you know, on it. So at whatever level you are, start doing it. And at the same time, just to add that most times the sports stars do not want to invest in that. So this photographer keeps giving you photos and you just want to keep receiving. You get the point? So
I get it.
Much as I said, yes, look into the photographer, it's because you're going to cut costs. Be friendly to the photographer. At some point, give them something so that they'll look out for you in the next match. When you have a player, you know, and you've met this photographer, but numerous people will take these photographs. And for some reason, you're not friendly to the other, or you're just the kind of person who wants to keep receiving. Sure, that's a problem. You can't keep expecting, you know, photographers to keep giving you photos, or videographers keep giving you clips, and then you're not reciprocating in whatever way. So at some point, have something. Buy yourself some nice jazz and hand over to that photographer, because they're also giving you something. Give them a reason to continue looking out for you on the pitch.
I mean,
and just to add, do you remember the case when Bebe Cool bought for a DJ an iPhone?
Yes, I remember.
Bebe Cool bought a DJ an iPhone. You think he's stupid? No. That DJ keeps playing Bebe Cool music. I'm not saying go and buy an iPhone. I'm not saying go and buy an iPhone, but find out your favorite photographer's club. Does he have Manchester United? Buy him a Manchester United jersey and give it to him, or an Arsenal jersey, whatever it is, or your own jersey. Find a way to be nice to someone who will be able to push. Don't, if you can't buy an iPhone, yes, fine, don't buy an iPhone, but do something within your means.
I mean, this has been really an interesting discussion, Joseph, and thank you so much for the highlights. And finally, as we get to go, do you think that because sports in Uganda has failed to brand itself, it's why our local stations are trying to run away from broadcasting some of these games? Because I look at TV in Uganda, there is so much space that is not utilized, but could have been utilized if with sporting, matches or things like that. Do you think it's because sports in Uganda has really failed to live up to the branding element?
Yes and no. So the broadcasters have not been given a reason to promote local sport. Yes, it's true. The broadcasters. I want to gather, put it under the umbrella of Ugandan media. Yes, Ugandan media has not done enough to promote local sport, but at the same time, administrators of local sport have not given them enough reason to continue doing what, to continue building local sport. So the truth of the matter is that it is very expensive. My experience with Kawa Sports is that it is very, very expensive to produce local content. Why? Because there is no starting point. Okay, for us to take to cover a match in Jinja, I do have to spend money to take a team over to Jinja, to transport them, to facilitate them, to have internet connectivity, to make sure I am actually paying these people's salaries. So it costs a lot of money. Yet I can use a fraction of that amount to subscribe to a wire service to get me content straight from Manchester, from Getty, from Reuters, or anything like that. So that is something that we need to also realize, that producing local content costs a lot of money, and because of that, you won't expect Ugandan media to keep doing it where it doesn't make financial sense. They'll lose money actually to cover local sport. So that is one thing for us to actually recognize. But at the same time, local media has not done enough to be able to push the needle so that then other people can do it, can join in as well. So the local media needs to also put in that effort. What is the point of us continuously spending money for international content, buying rights and all that kind of stuff, when we are not, giving an amount for the local sport? So here's what I'm saying. It's okay not to be able to broadcast a rugby match. It is fine, because there are actually costs involved in doing that. But at the very least, make sure you can be able to take a journalist in there to cover the match, to be able to get us some, clips and stuff like that, highlights and, things that can start moving the needle from zero coverage to something. Okay, so that is one aspect. So the media needs to move that, push that needle. But at the same time, local sports organizations need to meet them in the middle. So I am a TV station, but you cannot even give me, some 30 seconds of the highlights. What's the point? How do you expect me to cover you? Do something so that I can also now help at some point. You get? So I apologize. My kid is somewhere in the background.
It's understandable. We are in lockdown.
But the point I am making is that we need to help each other from the point of the media, but also at the point of the sports organizations. As a sports organization, let's say rugby, for example, let them produce that content, hand it over for free. One thing I want to mention, and this is like sports organizations. What is the point? You take a photo of your players, and then you put the watermark. That watermark is for media house. Let New Vision go and take a photo in your field and put that watermark. But your if it's or something like that, and you want to put the watermark, no, share it, because you benefit more if it is used widely. Are you saying? So that is the issue.
It's always watermarking pictures here.
Leave that for the media. And it's a battle, because as a matter of fact, we do watermark photos, but it's because we spend a lot of money in paying guys salaries, in facilitating them to go and get the photos. So we don't want them lifted without us being given credit. But that's a topic for another day. The fact that we like doing stuff without giving credit. Someone will lift a story, someone will take a photo and not say that this photo came from that point. So that's why I'm saying that sports organizations need to start producing some level of basic content, then that they can be able to push. Have those 3 minutes of highlights that you can give to NTV or SBS and say, here, as you're doing your sports, show them these are the highlights from this week's rugby or from this week's football.
Yeah.
But you can't keep crying that the media is not covering us, not covering us. Yes, you yourself, you're not covering yourself.
I can see, Joseph, you have a very personal attachment with this particular subject. But but you know, and from what we have discussed, I can clearly say that probably there's maybe 1 to 5 years before Kawa Sports can start doing broadcasting of some of these sporting disciplines. But all in all, Joseph, thank you so much for joining this conversation. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And hopefully we'll have another time to discuss another topic concerning sports. But again, thank you so much, and have a good evening and a nice weekend.
Thank you for having me.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for for tuning into the chat today, and I just want to thank everyone at Newslib Sports for doing everything possible to bring this broadcast to you. That is Jude, who does our graphics work, but also Jude Mugabe, who helps us with reaching out to different individuals. Thank you so much for bringing this broadcast live to us. Now we're going to run to Ntale Joshua to see what he has to say as he has a chat with Rugby Cranes captain, that is Mr. Mike Wokorach, who has probably played 15 years of Ugandan rugby. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, bye-bye. Ernest, do you want to join live? What do you want to talk about, Ernest? Okay, let's see. I've sent an invite to Ernest, but he's taking forever to respond. It seems the internet in Maokota is not allowing him to join the conversation. So you can't blame me. I've done my part. Oh, Ernest is here.
Yo.
Yes, Ernest, I can only see darkness. What's happening? Don't you have internet?
Let me step out. Let me step out then.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you see me now?
All right. We still cannot see you. As you can see, Dudus is saying we're only seeing darkness. So probably you only see yourself. Nothing.
Can you see me now?
You're now starting. Guys, please send messages to see if you're seeing Ernest, because he might think we are lying. That you're looking for a candle.
Can you see me now?
We cannot see you, sir. But again, guys,
let's now go and watch the one with Gonya.
Let's watch with Gonya, guys.
Then we shall come back.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this, and enjoy your weekend.
You too. That's it.